Politics Gaming here, and today we are doing episode 3 of the United States of America. Now, last time we actually did do a lot. We invested more into our space research, we invested into our electricity, and unfortunately, or it's kind of like unfortunately and unfortunately, Eversim did release a new update for the game, 6.44. This was a massive update for the game that included a lot of changes for the game. And unfortunately, I cannot continue the series on my last save that I used, so I had to restart the game and just make a couple of laws that would basically make game a little similar to how I had it last time, except I didn't do a lot, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and just redo a couple of things. I'm continuing on January 3rd, 2019 as the President of the United States, obviously. And what changes I did do, I increased the pollution tax to get some of that money back that I lost. And then I also did invest in 2 3G nuclear power plants. So continuing on, basically what this episode is going to consist of is kind of trying to get back what I lost while also going after something new. What I am going to concentrate on this episode is I'm definitely going to be concentrating on establishing some new space missions. I'm going to already start getting the United States back into space. We're going to invest a lot of money into it. We're also going to invest a lot of money into some other planets. So what we have on the moon already are 2 new missions. We have the Artemis 3 mission, which is actually based on the actual Artemis 3 mission that is going to land on the moon in 2024. We're actually going to change this to 2024, and we are going to get that to be on... So if we launch and time it, we can get there by the 4th of July of 2024. So we're going to go ahead and launch this on the 23rd of June 2024, and we're going to land on the moon on July 4th, 2024. We're going to go ahead and hit OK on that. We have a 0% chance of failure on that. We are investing a total of $71 billion into this Artemis mission. We are financing 65% of it, while other international partners should try to at least cover the next 35%. So we only have we are only covering $46 billion worth of this program right now. So we're just going to go ahead and go forward a couple of days, but beforehand we're also going to review over the other Artemis mission, which is the Discovery robot. This is actually supposed to be a precursor to the permanent base we're actually going to establish on the moon, possibly before 2030 is over. We're also going to come back, and then we're going to establish a few more missions. We're going to go ahead and go over here, and we're going to exploration robots. We're going to go ahead and launch this. We're going to go ahead and launch the Stanton Vogel. We're going to invest $5 billion worth of money into that, and then we're going to come back. We're going to review over that. We're going to launch it by 2021. And I don't think we're going to go ahead and go after some international partners, so we're going to go ahead and accept that. And then orbital probe. So that was an exploration robot. Technology research. Let's go over here, and let's go to Europa. We're also going to space probe with the return of samples to Earth. And we're going to go ahead and call this We're going to call it the Zeus. program. We're gonna fund 100% of that. And then let's also get one more project going. This is going to be the construction of a space station. Space habitation module. So let's go ahead and get a space habitation module in the air, into orbit actually. We're actually going to call this Moose, after the political Moose. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, go ahead and go subscribe to him. We're going to call this the Moose. We're going to give it $4.5 billion worth of funding. And we're going to create that. What? Thought that was supposed to be astronauts in space. God, that is weird. Artificial satellite. The first artificial satellite was Sputnik 1 and was launched by the USSR in 1957. There are now 5,500 artificial satellites that have been placed in orbit. And let's actually... where else do we want to go? Let's go ahead and do some of the outer planets. We actually have no research on places such as Uranus and Neptune. So let's go ahead and do an orbital probe. And then we are going to call this Father Sky. We're going to give it full funding. We're also probably going to try to go after an international partner on this. So it's going to cover 90% of the cost. So then let's actually come back to Artemis. Let's see if we have any offers. We do not yet. And then have a lot of these. So let's go over here, get rid of all of these, blah, 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 blah. Let's go over here to industry. Let's see what kind of industries we actually want to start supporting. What I am actually going to do is we're going to go all the way over to electric automobiles, and we're going to give them a tax exoneration just so we can help the development of those sectors, and then we can actually promote the use of clean cars. However, under our environmental program and with our electricity production relying heavily on fossil fuel, these vehicles will still be indirectly responsible for the CO2 emissions. Ideally, at this point, we should modify our electricity production facilities to use renewable energies such as wind, solar, and nuclear. So in a very good case, we actually are able to use more wind and solar, because Eversim finally fixed the thing from the 2019 edition. 12,000? Huh. That is actually really cool. The United States has only 12,509 fossil energy plants. This is actually down from the 120,000 that we actually had to deal with. This was an impossibly large amount of fossil energy plants that were just awfully expensive to get rid of. And I can actually get rid of these like in one sitting. I could literally do that for $16 billion. However, I have to be very careful with the amount of plants I actually get rid of, because we are getting rid of a lot of electricity whenever we do that. Just getting rid of one of these power plants will cost us 0.2. But if I get, for every fossil energy plant I actually get rid of, I can actually build one solar plant with very good readings, or I can actually build onshore wind. So I'm actually going to invest heavily right now in the onshore wind, right in this area right here. Let's go ahead and see what we're actually getting from that, and then we're going to go ahead and build about 10 of these. If you're actually noticing, I'm actually clicking them. I'm placing them down, and it's bringing me right back to the energy tab, so I can just keep repeating it as you usually have to do. So that is actually a really good thing on Eversim's part for making that happen. Let's go ahead and invest in one more 3G nuclear power plant. We're going to put this north of the Mexican border. And then we're also going to invest in some solar energy in southern Texas, close to Mexico. And then let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get about 5 more wind plants. And I think I'm actually going to place a couple of these in Florida, since I feel like they would actually have a very good reading on it. So we're going to go ahead and place the last 3 in Florida. Let's go ahead and see what we're getting there. Let's see what happens whenever I put it on the very, very coast. And then if I were to put it in like deep within the United States, yeah, I would get average, yeah. So let's go ahead and put some of these in the north as well. Put one in Long Island. So you're seeing that these annual production capacities, they're actually up to 2 and 3 terawatts per unit. So that's the capacity that they can actually do. That's not going to be the actual electricity they're going to produce. That is the capacity that they have, that they could produce, not what they will produce. So there's a huge difference. And let's go ahead and invest in offshore. Let's go ahead and do 3 off the coast of North Carolina, and then we're going to go ahead and do 5 off the coast of California, especially off of Los Angeles and San Francisco. Let's go ahead and build 1 more solar plant in Southern California. And then, wow, they really nerfed the US energy grid, because there's not the thousands of things. We still have the same amount of nuclear plants, so I guess that's the only one that didn't get nerfed, as well as onshore and offshore and solar. However, biomass, fossil, and hydroelectricity actually got nerfed by a lot. That's mostly, I guess, just so you have the ability to have an expendable and interchangeable electricity grid. So you didn't have the 100,000 fossil energy coal power plants that you would never ever touch, because they were so expensive and took so long and so many people to dismantle. And let's go ahead and also invest in a oil rig off the coast of Texas. We're also going to invest in more shale oil and gas. Let's go ahead and develop these in Texas and Oklahoma. Let's see, Wisconsin. No, Iowa. Yep, Iowa has some. Alright, and then let's get some gas up as well. Let's go ahead and develop a couple of these, at least 3 of these in Texas. We're going to do 1 in East Texas, 1 in Northeast Texas, and then we're going to go ahead and do 1 just outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm going to put that right above Lake Louisville. We have a 3.95% deficit.
Your conservative management.
And then change that song. And let's go back over here to Army. Let's go ahead and increase that to 1.35. What's going on here? Missiles? Okay, so in the new update, they actually got rid of the amount of missiles that you actually gave your troops. I don't know how this is going to affect the game itself and the gameplay. It's going to be interesting. However, you only have to invest in the amount of missiles your country actually has instead of the conventional missiles that you usually would have in your inventory. Because you would be able to buy millions of missiles for your troops, and those would go directly to your troops. So that's kind of disappointing that they got rid of that, because it was actually really fun to micromanage the ammunition that your troops had. I don't even think it affected it. So I don't know. What we're also going to do is we're actually going to invest into our military. So we're going to go ahead and buy 2 aircraft carriers. We're going to go ahead and order some new state-of-the-art Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carriers. These are going to be vital in the United States war on terror and to quell international threats abroad. This is going to cost us $13 billion. Let's go ahead and get that done. We're going to have those delivered by 2021, by March of 2021. We have national protests going on right now. This is mostly because of military policy. Let's go ahead and close that. National protests going on. We have 3% loss in popularity. However, our popularity rating is 70%. Demonstrations across the country against military policy, as well as an uprising in Washington. Let's go ahead and deploy our soldiers. We're just not going to deal with it. Good start.
The rebels have...
Let's get this train started. And I think either A, we can actually develop high-speed rail in California, or we can wait for our Hyperloop to actually be finished, and then we can develop Hyperloop. No, actually, yeah, well, yeah, okay, so Hyperloop is actually going to be able to be the ones that are going to transport people long distances. That would have to be between Dallas and Chicago, Chicago to Washington, or like Miami to Chicago, or Los Angeles to New York. So that's going to be what I'm going to save that for. So we're going to go ahead and develop some high-speed rail between California and its cities. So the first one is going to be a Los Angeles-San Francisco line that is going to transport business and citizens between each city. This is a large investment, and we are actually we're going to go ahead and get that to go around the mountains. Just to be a little more realistic, it's going to be really fun to see this thing kind of circle around all of these mountains. We're going to go ahead and get that to go straight by the mountains. It's going to ride along the coast, right past Diablo Canyon Nuclear Station. And then it's going to go inside of California, past San Jose, and then right into San Francisco. And then we're going to get that done in about 1 year. $16.5 billion, $76 billion over the next 5 years. And then we're also going to develop a high-speed rail line between San Diego and Los Angeles. So this is going to go right above Huntington Beach and Santa Ana, and I'm gonna connect right into Los Angeles. It's gonna be another $10 billion, or if we're gonna get that done, we're gonna go ahead and get that done before the San Francisco Los Angeles line is going to be done, and then we're going to get that done for $10 billion, almost $50 billion over the next 5 years. We're going to get that done in about 4 months. Let's see what else we can actually connect. Can we connect Sacramento? No, they already have a highway connection. What else can we do? I think that's actually going to be it. We're going to go ahead and finish up that California high-speed rail. What is in the north? What's going on here? We can connect the entire East Coast or West. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're going to connect. Oh my God, I'm getting jumbled up. We can connect the entire West Coast from Seattle all the way to Los Angeles and San Diego. So that's an option. You guys can actually go ahead and vote on that. If you guys want me to do that, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. However, this is what the high-speed railway is going to look like in California. This is going to definitely spark businesses up. And then another thing we're actually going to do is we're going to invest in a Dallas-Houston line. This is just connecting the smaller parts of the United States, and this is actually something that is actually being worked on in real life. There is an actual project that wants to connect Dallas and Houston together with a high-speed railway that would transport people from Dallas to Houston in only 45 minutes, under 1 hour. So this would be very interesting to see. We're going to get that done in about 6 months. Now we have a 4% deficit. We need to go ahead and stop these large projects immediately because we are definitely not able to cover this money. So what we are going to do is we are going to increase the pollution tax. We're going to increase the amounts that you have to pay to. Let's actually try to see if we can get that to 0.1. That'll generate $70 billion of income. So that's going to be a very close thing in the Congress. 52 to 57%. Very, very close. That actually put our deficit down to 3.6%. And our credit agencies are saying that we can do better. I don't know if that they just downgraded our credit rating. So let's go ahead and check on our credit real quick. We actually had a previous AAA rating with harshness and rules and Kish ratings. Now we have a AA. We have lost our credit rating. We are actually doing very, very bad. This is horrible that the United States has a BBB. This is one of the worst things that has probably happened to the United States since the financial crisis. However, we are definitely going to be getting this up. We are going to be investing a lot into our economy. And we definitely are going to be incurring a lot of debt in this first quarter. However, in the next couple of quarters, we're definitely going to be paying off our debt, which obviously you guys can see we are about just in this quarter, we are probably going to incur $250 billion in debt. This is a very, very awful thing to look at. Our public debt is now 107% of our GDP. For those economists out there, I apologize for this. This is not what's supposed to be going on. Let's go ahead and check on this. We are owing $1.7 trillion to the Chinese. We owe $1.3 trillion to the Japanese. And then over $400 billion to our European and North American neighbors. This is pretty awful. And unfortunately, this is what our economy is looking like right now. You guys are probably rolling in your graves as of right now because of just what I'm doing. But this is all for the sake of development and economic prosperity. Our economy is going to recover. However, we just need to develop these vital infrastructures to ensure our national security, to ensure that transport is ensured to the people of the United States, and to ensure that our cybersecurity will not be infringed. And speaking of cybersecurity, we're going to go over here and we are going to invest in a silver Cyber protection program. We're going to go ahead and invest the $8 billion that it takes to have mandatory cybersecurity audit for state services and administrations, and to invest in cybersecurity for our vital infrastructures, such as public safety, transportation, suppliers of electricity, gas, and water. What does gold do? That does the same thing. However, it has the creation of a high security ISO CEI certified data center built underground in national territory. That is the most expensive option that we actually have. However, we're going to go for the second most expensive option, which actually, in my opinion, gives you the strongest
best
and cheapest national security to that money can buy, other than the gold, actually. However, we're going to go ahead and just go over a couple more days. We're going to go ahead and go to February, and then we're going to go ahead and stop. China discovers the self-fragrant fiber. We're going to go ahead and refuse that. And then bill has been voted on, blah, blah, blah. Creation, Ganymede. China's going to Ganymede. Okay, so before we actually go, we're going to go ahead and invest in some of these. Okay, so our guys are actually getting back to us. Has our credit rating gone down even more? No, we are finally out of a triple B. We are now at a single A for the Chinese, and we're at a triple A's for all the other credit agencies. And our deficit is now at 0.4. So let's go ahead and go to these international things, and we're gonna hold off on actually releasing those funds. So that's Moose. Who wants to work with me on Moose? No. However, we're gonna approve the program right here. We're just going to do that ourselves. However, for Artemis 3, we're definitely going to be investing with someone else. So we're going to go ahead and take that 16% cut from the ESA. We're definitely going to be working with the ESA to get to the moon. So now we have $50.7 billion invested into the Artemis 3. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and meet with the Japanese head of state. We're going to go ahead and ask them if they would like to join in on our endeavor to the moon. Because in real life, the United States is working with Canada, JAXA, or the Japanese Space Agency, and nice taxes, and blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and skip to this. We're working with the ESA, JAXA, and the CSA, or the Canadian Space Agency. And let's go ahead and offer him some coffee. And then invite him to join your Artemis 3.
Yes.
Alright. Finally got Japanese cooperation with the Artemis 3, and we're just going to wait for them. We're going to go ahead and go over one more day. Street is for everyone, men and women. Artemis Space Program, prepare for liftoff. And let's go to space research, and we're going to go back to the Artemis 3. And then Japan is offering, wow, Estonia is offering more money. But since we are actually going to work with Japan, we're going to go ahead and accept them as a partner. We're going to accept one more partner. You can do better. Our credit agency probably just downgraded our credit again. Artemis 3. Luxembourg wants to offer $11.625 billion worth of funding to the Artemis. Let's actually see if we can offer someone else. Oh, Canada. Let's meet with Canada. Let's meet with them after the Ann Awards. And then once we get Canada in, we're going to get the actual partners that we actually have. And then we're just... what's going on? There's a riot in Washington. Alright, there was a soccer game. People are mad. Deploy the military. Perfection of biodegradable plastic. So since we actually do want to help the environment, we're going to go ahead and patent that and allow for the sale of it across the world. Okay, we discovered it before China actually did, so that's actually really good. Invite him to join your Artemis 3. All right, so thank you, Canada. We're going to go ahead and wait for your generous donation to the Artemis program. And we're probably going to increase funding to allow the United States to pay its fair share. So we have a $15 billion offer from Canada. We're going to go ahead and accept them as a partner. And it looks like our international partners are actually accepting more than 54% of the funding. So let's actually increase this. 75. No, let's go ahead and do 80. That has been subdued. Let's go ahead and look at environment. Have a lot of work to do over in environment, and we're also waiting to discover the things that actually suck in the air and make fuel out of it. So let's go ahead and check our currency. 2.31% is actually going down. It's trickling down. And then debt, what is that looking like? $162 billion. So that is actually going down. All right, so that is good. We did just suffer a terrorist attack in Richmond. Killing tarantulas of an official. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this video actually gets out more often. We're going to go ahead and shoot for a 1 week interval to where we can finally get our these episodes out regularly. I do apologize for the amount of time it has taken me to make these episodes. I have been dealing with a funeral. I did have to go to a funeral just the other day, so that is the main reason why I have not been on. I'm still working on the Eversim interview, so that will be out in the next week or two. I'm probably going to go ahead and start editing more of it and making more footage tonight. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this. I will see you guys in the next one.